There's been much talk about this film as a reunion of sorts between you and your director Pedro after 21 years. Why did you two decide to collaborate again together after all this time?
Well, the decision always comes from the director, who is the one who has to actually make choices. And one of the choices is just to call actors, and he called me almost 10 years ago. Actually, he approached me in the Cannes Film Festival and just decided to go with me. For me, it was a satisfaction to work again with somebody that I recognize as a director who changed all the rules of the games in Spanish cinematography, who defies continuously the rules of cinematic gravity. And at this particular time, you know, in the world actually, in which we try to make things that are very eatable, you know, we got the peaks and the lows to make the people eat anything. It's almost like finding a glass of water in the middle of the desert to work with somebody like him, so pure and so faithful to his ideas and his personality.
So you feel almost like you're in safe hands when you're with Pedro?
You feel actually the opposite. You feel very risky situation. You are almost on the verge of a cliff continuously with him. But that's what creation is. When you feel very safe and when you feel very secure what you're doing nothing. You're just you're doing something that is craftsmanship, you know, but you're not creating anything new. With Pedro, it's a totally different idea. He's almost feeling naked in front of the camera, as I think he feels naked too behind it.
Well, that's very interesting, and also too that the film's subject matter is very daring, very provocative. Was that something you were looking for?
Not looking for it specifically, but when it comes to you, it makes you really reflect about identity, which is one of the issues of the movie, survival, power. And ultimately, I think the movie is about creation. In a way, it floats during the whole entire time in the movie as, you know, a kind of a metaphor. Because this guy that I am playing tried to play God for a while, you know, and just to have the possibility of changing not only just the identity, but the overall of a person, and do something that belongs to him. And you cannot do that with people, so he's going to have to pay a price for that.
Speaking of this character that you play, did you have any doubts or any reservations going into this at all, or no?
No, not at all. No, because this is my 6th movie with Pedro, and whatever happens in my life, in the future, you know, I will be remembered somehow by those 6 movies that I have done so far with Pedro Almodovar. Probably we're going to do more in the future. I know how he defies, you know, the rules of cinematic gravity and break all the codes, you know, of the Spanish cinematography at a time, and probably the world cinematography. And for me, that is always exciting and you know, creative. It's rich. Lots to be there.
And the response to this film has been great so far, right?
You know, very, very good. Though, you know, the normal tendency with Pedro Almodovar, he provokes always very, very radical reactions in one way or another. But that's the way he is. He's not a mainstream director. He doesn't do something very eatable. He does things that have to be metabolized, that has to be digested, and touches many different genres at the same time, and create his own, in a way. I think Pedro Almodovar is actually a genre in himself, and this movie is more Almodovar than Almodovar. You know, they're reflecting the situation about life, death, you know, identity, and power, as I said to you before.
A lot of interesting themes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.